Are you really living? Or,
Right.
just existing? It's a big question, isn't it? That feeling maybe there's something more than just the day-to-day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're turning into this deep dive, chances are you're hungry for, well, for knowledge. You
Yeah.
want to get them quickly, but also properly right,
Mm,
and ultimately live a bit more meaningfully.
absolutely. And that's exactly what we're digging into today. We're exploring some really potent ideas and maybe from a slightly unexpected place.
Yeah.
It's a motivational video from the YouTube channel English Avenue called Don't Waste Your Life. It's framed around English learning, but
Right. I know what you might be thinking. English learners, how's that relevant?
yeah.
But honestly, if you look past the language part, the core message is,
Mm.
wow, really powerful, straight-talking wisdom for anyone.
Yeah, the video is very upfront about that. It says it's not about, fake motivation. It wants to be more like a mirror for some honest self-reflection.
A mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the main thing is tackling that huge question, how do we stop life just slipping through our fingers?
Yeah, exactly. And that's our mission here today. We're going to pull out the biggest lessons, the real gems from this video, give you some actionable stuff, things to chew on, maybe you apply right away without it feeling overwhelming.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's jump in. First big one. Time is your life. Don't kill it.
What's striking here is just how direct it is. The video flat out says, you are not killing time, time is killing you.
Whoa.
Yeah. The insight is that we're the ones actively diminishing our own lives through inaction. It shifts the blame, from some abstract idea of time to the actual choices we make.
Right. So it reframes those things we think are just passing time,
Hmm.
like the video argues, saying, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or endlessly scrolling, hitting snooze.
Mhm.
It says you're actually destroying pieces of your life. That's pretty intense language.
It is intense, yeah. But it highlights a truth we maybe don't like to face. Time's finite. The video points out life keeps moving, we're getting older, energy levels change, and those dreams we have, they're not just going to wait around forever.
It really pushes that sense of urgency. It asks you point blank, what did you do yesterday, day before? What about tomorrow? Same old routine.
Exactly.
Still waiting for someday. Like, look at your habits. Really look.
And it's not just problems, it offers solutions too. Like valuing your hours like gold. That's a powerful mindset shift.
Yeah.
Or making a daily plan, focusing on just one thing that moves you forward. Maybe swapping an hour of social media for, I don't know, learning something new. These are doable things.
Totally. It's about changing how we relate to time, seeing it not as this endless thing, but as, well, as our life. Okay, so if time is life, then taking responsibility for it is next. Lesson 2, stop blaming and start building.
Yeah, this gets into what you might call radical responsibility. The video is very clear. Your life, all of it, the good, the bad, whatever, it's yours to shape. It's not about pointing fingers at the past or, other people.
It lists those common excuses, doesn't it? The ones we all hear, maybe even use sometimes. Oh, I didn't go to a good school, or my family wasn't supportive, or I just don't have the money or the talent.
Right. And the core message is focusing on what you didn't have is it's wasted energy. The video asks, who really wins? It's the person who says, I don't care what I lacked. I'm going to build something from nothing.
That's a huge shift
Yeah.
from victim to creator.
Exactly. And they use Oprah as this incredible example.
Oh, yeah?
Born into poverty, faced abuse, and built this global empire. The point is, she didn't get stuck blaming. She focused on building.
So what are the solutions here? How do you make that shift?
Well, it suggests accepting your story, but not letting it make you a victim. Maybe using a daily affirmation like, I am responsible. And practically, writing down your problems, but then immediately brainstorming actual actionable solutions, moving from complaining to creating.
Okay, moving on. This next one, I think it hits a nerve for a lot of us. Lesson 3, your comfort zone is a trap.
Yeah, and what's interesting is how it frames the comfort zone, not just as relaxing, but as this place that can silently kill your dreams.
Silently kill.
Wow. It paints that picture, wake up, grab the phone, eat, watch stuff, scroll, maybe study a bit, sleep, repeat.
Sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
Maybe too familiar, that easy path. But the video just says, flat out, all significant success resides outside the boundaries of that comfort. That's bold.
Bold.
It is bold. And it uses real examples like, want to speak English better. You got to actually speak, even if you mess up.
Right.
Want to start a business, you have to take that leap, even knowing you might fail. It's the fear, isn't it? Fear of discomfort, failure, embarrassment. Those are the walls of the zone.
And it doesn't ignore those fears. It gets that being laughed at or failing feels bad. But the point is, you have to push past it. I like the seed analogy they use.
Oh, yeah, the seed having to break through the hard soil, face the weather,
Yeah.
all that struggle to actually grow into something. It's a great metaphor for why discomfort is, well, necessary for growth. So the solutions are about small steps,
Right.
right? Doing one uncomfortable thing daily. Like maybe it is speaking English, or signing up for that class, or applying for that job.
Exactly. Or even just posting something online you're nervous about. And that idea of failing forward, seeing mistakes not as dead ends, but as lessons.
Learning opportunities.
Precisely. Because
Yeah.
staying safe in the comfort zone, that really just means staying stuck. So maybe ask yourself, what's one tiny bit of discomfort you can choose today just to push that boundary a little?
Good question. Okay, next lesson. A phrase we've probably all used, I'll do it later, is a lie.
Huh. Yeah, the video pulls no punches here, calls it the biggest and most damaging lie you consistently tell yourself.
Ouch.
It argues that putting things off isn't just delaying, it's actively, like permanently damaging your potential, your life satisfaction.
It personifies later, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As this voice of laziness, of fear, our weaker self trying to keep us safe and comfortable. And it contrasts people who say later with those who just act now, even if they're scared or don't feel ready.
And the key thing it stresses is how final time is. The clock's ticking, there's no warning bell before it runs out. It just ends. And all those laters add up to, well, regret.
That example about wanting to start a YouTube channel years ago but being scared,
Mm-hmm.
and now seeing someone else doing exactly that, that hits hard. Shows the real cost of waiting.
Totally. And the solution is almost ridiculously simple, but effective. Set a short timer and just start. Stop overthinking. Tell yourself, look, if I don't do this now, I probably never will. Prioritize action, even messy action, over perfect planning that never happens.
Okay, that flows perfectly into the next point, which feels like a continuation. Stop thinking. Start doing.
It really does. This lesson looks at our minds, right? How
Yeah.
they can be our best friend, but also our biggest enemy. How easily we can get trapped in overthinking, in analysis.
Oh, definitely. We've all been there. Spending ages thinking about starting something, watching endless videos about it, planning every detail.
But never actually doing the thing.
Yeah. The video calls it analysis paralysis.
And it points out the results. You get exhausted before you even start. You imagine all the ways it could go wrong. You stay stuck. Thinking is useful, sure, but the video says there's a limit. After a point, it just turns into fear.
That swimming analogy is perfect. You can read all the books, watch all the videos on swimming.
But you won't learn till you get in the water.
Exactly. Same applies here.
So the solution is about balance. Think for a bit, maybe just 10 minutes, the video suggests, then do for much longer, maybe 10 hours. Build momentum. Let the action become the habit, not the thinking.
Right. Shift the focus. Okay, let's talk about identity. Lesson 6. Be that guy. Or, be that person.
This one's about actively choosing who you want to be. The video paints this really clear contrast, doesn't it? Between someone passive, complaining, quits easily, versus someone proactive, driven, resilient.
It lists those contrasting behaviors, like waking early versus sleeping in, studying versus partying, speaking up versus staying quiet out of fear.
Believing versus doubting, pushing through versus quitting. It really spells out the choices we make every day.
And the emphasis is on leading by example, right? Inspiring people through your actions without saying a word, as the video puts it.
Exactly. Building that character where your dedication just speaks for itself. Not needing everyone else to pat you on the back. The video asks, why not you? Why assume success is only for other people?
And it encourages you to imagine being that person others talk about later, the one who really did something. The solutions are quite practical, too. Daily reflection, like asking, what would the disciplined version of me do today?
Yeah, and acting the part. Dress like success, talk like success, walk like success. Basically embodying it and focusing on showing results, not just talking about plans.
It's about becoming the person you admire through your actions. So maybe think about one quality of that ideal self you can act on today.
Good prompt.
Okay, next lesson digs into that internal battle, you versus you.
Ah, yes. This points out that often the biggest hurdle isn't out there somewhere, it's inside us. It's our own internal dialogue. The video lists those voices, the ones telling you to quit, saying, I'm tired, it's okay to be average, let's just relax.
We all hear them. It frames life as this daily choice, doesn't it? Between the lazy, scared you and the ambitious, brave, hungry you.
That's a great way to put it. And the two wolves analogy works so well here.
Right, the one about laziness and doubt versus strength and drive.
Yeah. And the point is, the one that gets stronger is simply the one you feed through your thoughts, your actions.
So the solutions are about starving the negative wolf, basically. Killing lazy habits, tracking your wins.
Yeah, tracking the choices you make for growth and celebrating those moments when you beat the weaker urge, that helps change your identity over time.
It's a constant internal management, being aware of that inner voice and choosing which one to listen to.
Definitely. It's about consciously empowering the voice that serves your goals.
Okay, lesson 8 is crucial for making any of this happen. Work on your willpower.
Yeah, the video argues that without willpower, you're just run by your feelings. And it calls feelings liars, which is interesting.
Liars, how so?
Well, because they often tell you not to do the things that are actually good for you in the long run. You know, that feeling of, I don't feel like getting up early, or I don't feel like working out or studying.
Okay, so willpower is doing it anyway.
Exactly. It's the ability to do the right thing even when you don't feel like it, overriding that resistance.
And it makes the point that successful people aren't always motivated, they're disciplined. They show up regardless.
Right. Because motivation comes and goes, but discipline, that's something you build.
Like a muscle.
Yeah,
I think the video used that analogy.
it did, yeah. Willpower is like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you exercise it. The example of cutting down phone use at night. At first it's hard, you feel the urge, but over time your willpower muscle gets stronger.
Makes sense. So the solutions are about starting small.
Yep. Pick one task you avoid and just do it. Build that daily discipline habit. Reward yourself for doing the hard thing, not for avoiding it. And talk to yourself like a leader, you know? The commitment.
Take control of those impulses. Okay, number 9. This is a big one today. Comparison is killing you.
Oh, absolutely huge, especially with social media. The video is blunt. Constantly comparing yourself just leads to unhappiness, period.
Why, though? What's the mechanism?
Because you end up focusing on everyone else's seemingly perfect life, their highlight reel, instead of focusing on building your own life.
Right. You see the perfect bodies, the fancy cars, the great holidays, the amazing English skills, whatever it is.
Exactly. All those likes, views, money. And it's so easy to think, wow, my life sucks compared to that.
But we forget we're comparing our behind-the-scenes mess to their curated public image.
Precisely. We don't see the struggles, the effort, the bad days behind that perfect photo. And this constant comparing just eats away at your self-worth and stalls your own progress.
I liked the sunflower and rose analogy.
Yeah, me too. Both beautiful, both unique. Comparing them is pointless, right? Same with our lives. Our journey is ours. Measuring it against someone else's just holds us back.
So what can you do? Unfollow people.
That's one suggestion, yeah. Unfollow accounts that consistently make you feel bad. Focus on your journey. Track your growth. Compare yourself today to yourself yesterday, not to someone else. And try to shift from comparison to inspiration. Learn from others, sure, but without the self-hate.
Learn without the self-hate. I like that. Okay, lesson 10 gives some really practical advice on advice itself. Don't take advice from those who haven't done it.
This is about looking at the source. Does the person giving advice actually have experience and results in the thing they're advising on?
It uses those common sense examples, right?
Okay.
Like asking someone with a leaky roof how to build a house.
Exactly. Or asking someone broke how to get rich. Or someone terrified of public speaking how to become fluent and confident. Seems obvious, but...
But we do it, especially online, right?
Mm-hmm.
So much noise. The video called it noise words with no experience and opinions with no pain.
That's it. And the example of the uncle advising against starting a business because he thinks it's risky, even though he's never run one himself, that happens all the time.
So the solution is simple but crucial. Ask yourself, has this person achieved what I want to achieve?
If yes, listen closely. Learn everything you can.
If no,
Thank them, maybe, but politely disregard the advice. Protect your vision from people who haven't walked the path.
good rule of thumb. Okay, number 11 is really empowering. Pick yourself.
Yeah, this is a call to action. Stop waiting. The video points out that the world probably won't clap for you at the start. People might not believe in you until you've already succeeded. Support might be lacking when you need it most.
So you can't wait for someone else to give you permission or validation or an opportunity.
Exactly. Stop waiting for the call, the message, the lucky break, the perfect partner, the stage. The video says pick yourself. You're the leader of your life, not a passive waiter.
Like J.K. Rowling getting rejected so many times.
Right. Imagine if she'd waited for someone else to believe in Harry Potter as much as she did. She picked herself. She kept going.
Yeah.
And eventually, the world caught on.
So the solutions are about taking initiative.
Totally. Seize opportunities. Start the thing, the YouTube channel, the book, the podcast. Apply for the job even if you're not sure. and affirm it. I don't need anyone to pick me. I pick myself every single day.
Build that inner belief so strong that the world has to take notice eventually.
That's the idea.
Okay, lesson 12. This one connects risk and reward. No risk, no story.
The argument here is that a truly memorable life, a life with great achievements and experiences, usually involves taking some calculated risks. Playing it safe all the time rarely leads to, legendary outcomes.
It lists things successful people often risk, right? Money, time, comfort.
Yeah, safety, peace of mind, even their hearts sometimes. It contrasts a life lived purely for safety with one that involves adventure, growth, and, well, a good story to tell later.
That fear of speaking English comes up again here. The potential regret of not trying versus the potential rewards if you do take the risk.
Exactly. Playing it safe means missing out on potentially huge upsides.
So the solution is just take a risk.
Take one risk today, it suggests. Talk to someone, apply for something, post the video, build the prototype, send the message, ask the question, and importantly, think about the best possible outcome, not just the worst. Embrace risk as necessary for adventure, for growth, for having a life story worth telling.
So risk isn't just danger, it's opportunity.
That's a reframe, yeah. Without it, you don't get the big breakthroughs or the really meaningful experiences.
Okay, 13 brings us back to that urgency. The clock is ticking.
This is another direct hit. Time doesn't care if you're ready. It just keeps moving.
It ignores all our excuses, right? Being tired, confused, scared, waiting for the right moment.
Yep, time just ticks away, often so gradually we don't notice until a lot of it is gone, and then comes regret.
It challenges people who say they're too old or too busy and asks those really sharp questions.
Yeah, like when will you stop watching others win? Will you let your dreams die? When will you finally commit to becoming who you're meant to be?
Powerful stuff. And it makes the point that regret hurts way more than failure ever could.
Absolutely. The final call to action is stark. Stop acting like you have forever. You don't. Your time is now.
A necessary kick in the pants, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, lesson 14. This sounds harsh at first. Nobody cares. And that's your greatest power.
It does sound harsh, doesn't it? But the video spins it brilliantly into something liberating. It starts with a reality check. Most people are wrapped up in their own lives, their own problems. Waiting for sympathy or for someone to rescue you is probably pointless.
Okay, that's the potentially downer part. But the power.
The power is, if nobody's that focused on you, especially when you're starting out or struggling, then you're free.
Free out.
Free to try things, free to fail, free to look silly sometimes, free to get back up again, all without worrying so much about what everyone else thinks. You don't need their permission or approval to try.
Ah, I see. It takes the pressure off.
Exactly. The video says, sure, feel your feelings, cry if you need to, but then use it. Wipe your tears, clench your fists, and rise. Focus on your drive, your self-reliance.
Because ultimately, you care about your life more than anyone else does.
That's the engine. Build your life for you, authentically, like nobody's watching. Because mostly, they aren't watching that closely anyway.
Okay, nearly there. Lesson 15 asks a simple but profound question. Why not now?
This hits that tendency we all have to put things off right next week, next month, next year. It challenges the idea that the future will magically be easier or better for starting.
It points out that if you can't start now with what you have, you probably won't start later either. It busts the myth of the perfect time. Life's always messy.
And every delay lets those dreams fade just a little bit more. The world, opportunities, time. They don't wait for you to feel perfectly ready.
It gives examples like starting fitness, learning English, changing your life, things you can start today. And it ends with that challenge. Give me one solid reason for waiting. Implying. There isn't one.
Right. The power is in starting now, even if it's just a tiny step. That first action can be the most important one.
Absolutely. Okay, the final core lesson. If you don't like your life, create a new version.
This is about deep self-reflection. How satisfied are you, really? Are you waking up excited or just dragging yourself through? Are you genuinely happy or just putting on a face?
It challenges just accepting routines you hate, calls it insanity to keep doing the same thing if you want change but do nothing. And it reminds you, you're the creator. You can change things.
Unlike a tree, right? You can move, evolve, rebuild. It encourages making radical changes if needed. Habits, friends, environment, mindset. Don't just follow the crowd, build your version. And you don't need a crisis to start. You don't need to hit rock bottom.
A conscious decision now is enough.
Exactly. The analogy is beautiful. You're the artist, life is your canvas. Go create something powerful, beautiful, unforgettable. Your new version.
Wow. That's a strong place to leave the core lessons.
Hmm.
And the video adds a final encouragement too, right?
It does. It speaks directly to anyone facing tough times, money worries, health issues, relationship problems, whatever. It offers hope, saying these hard times aren't the end. They're the start of becoming stronger. Find a dream, chase it hard, focus on your inner strength. It ends with this powerful affirmation of your potential for greatness.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive into don't waste your life, the big message really seems to be about ownership, action, and overcoming those inner blocks, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Take ownership, act decisively, stop letting your own mind or fears hold you back from the life you could be living.
So maybe take a second now, reflect on which of these lessons really landed for you, which one or two felt most relevant.
Yeah, pick one or two ideas you could genuinely start applying, even in a small way, like today or tomorrow. Maybe look at your own notes or plans through this lens.
And maybe we can leave you with this final thought, echoing the video's close. Your future is waiting, your greatness is waiting, your dream is waiting. It's time to go get it. So after listening today, what's one small thing, one concrete step you can take today towards that life you really want?